Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you. We have a lot to talk about. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you for being amazing moderators. And ladies and gentlemen, again, to my super chat, thank you so very much. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some channels. So the fact that you support my work and allow me to be an independent voice means a great deal to me. And I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the fact that on C-SPAN there were 6 times as many live viewers for the first night, probably the same thing than the DNC for the RNC than the DNC, probably the same thing for the second night. Before we get into the issue of enthusiasm, which every single poll that Democrats and media worship, every single poll that they claim, well, Biden's up 14 points. Within those polls, enthusiasm by a 29-point margin at times. President Trump leads. And then he also leads on the economy. So people are going to, it's really interesting. They're like, well, on the pandemic response, Biden leads. Like, well, what did this man say anything prior to the pandemic? No, they were all focused on impeaching President Trump. You had New York's governor on March 1st saying that the risk remains low for the people of New York and there's no reason for undue anxiety. But even within the polls, you have President Trump leading in terms of enthusiasm, and then you have President Trump leading in terms of voters who want to vote, who are voting on the economy. We had record low unemployment. We had record low Black and Latino unemployment. It's interesting. It's really interesting how when Democrats and media and liberals and progressives talk about systemic injustices and systemic racism, when you bring up the record low Black and Latino unemployment prior to the pandemic, they didn't even care. They said, well, it started under President Obama. You have no clue if well, first of all, it started under President Obama, but Trump cut taxes. So you mean to say that it would still have done, the economy would still have done the same things without cutting taxes? The Dallas Federal Reserve said it added I forgot the exact quote, but it was like a tremendous amount to the GDP, the tax cuts. And of course you had media, if they don't like something, the tax cuts, oh my God, so horrible. Tariffs, oh my God, so horrible. You had record low Black and Latino unemployment. Biden, and check out my segment prior today, Hillary Clinton's going to be on that debate stage. And she's going to be on that ballot. That's why she's telling Biden not to concede, which is hilarious because she lost by how many electoral college votes? It's really funny. It's really, really funny. They're like, you better not concede this time. It's like, well, you had no chance. What were you going to do? You lost by... You lost 304 to 227. You were going to concede? You're not going to concede because you lost by what? 70 plus electoral college votes? So what were they going to do? They lost 304 to 227 in the electoral college, and you just go to 270 to win. 270 to win. You can just look at that. 2016 actual. So Clinton is going to be, she does better than, so it's 232 to 306 on but still, you lose by over 74 electoral college votes, and now they're saying, well, you know what? You can't concede this year. It's like, yeah, you never had a chance not to concede. So, in addition to Trump working with Russia, you're making things up as usual. Trump never worked with Russia. You never had a chance to even think of not conceding. And before we get to the 6 times as many live viewers, and the fact that CNN cut away. So they're like, oh my God, here, they're like, the DNC had more people watching. The DNC had more people watching in aggregate. Yeah, you had CNN cutting from the event. You had all of social media trying to fact check obsessively when they didn't do the same thing with the DNC. And like, they never say, like, I forgot who it was, like a singer, like, Donald Trump's destroying our country. Where was the fact check there? He's destroying the country. That's not hyperbole. He's destroying the country. Trump is destroying the country. DNC spokesperson claims without evidence that Trump has destroyed the country. One man cannot destroy the country, first of all. Secondly, it is not Trump who has shut down states. In California, we are still shut down. Okay? If you can go to a restaurant and sit inside a restaurant, consider yourself lucky. You can't get a haircut. That's why I'm growing my hair out. Okay? And so there's Democrats do not see a middle ground where you can have a functioning society and still try to keep people safe. It's either all or nothing. And Biden said, "Oh yeah, let's shut it down if the scientists tell me." It's like, well, you ain't going to be... Tom Perez and the DNC, all they have to have is a meeting saying, look, Hillary Clinton does better among black and Latino voters. Biden is doing worse. Trump is doing better than he did in 2016. So they're not even going to, now that the buzz is, oh, well, we're not going to find out the swing state winners. We're not gonna find out who won swing states until November 4th. Yay! It's like, yeah. You are counting on a miraculous outcome from the mail-in ballots of states that Ronna McDaniel explained are not equipped. These states, like Nevada, for example, are not equipped to just go only mail-in. It's interesting that they, like I keep saying, they had no problem voting in person in their own primaries. Okay? But, ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Sandmann, God bless Nicholas Sandmann. Nicholas Sandmann is an amazing young man, and he has a really wonderful family. A really, really wonderful family. And where is the Democrat that media, where is the young, progressive, liberal teenager that media descended upon and tried to turn into a villain? Oh, that's right. That thank God that has never happened. It is only the young conservative or the young Trump supporter that media, and you had Trevor Noah, you had Bill Maher, you had all of these late night, you had Hollywood celebrities, the moral imbeciles of our age, talking about how they wanted to punch this young man in the face, and how they wanted to, how he was just so smug. Where's the young person, the teenager that media descended upon because he or she opposed President Trump? Oh, that would never happen, ever in a million years. That's why Nicholas Sandmann hopefully got tens of millions of dollars. And no doubt they have insurance, so these publications have insurance that pay the settlements. Still, though, what was the settlement? Let's see. What was so the Washington Post, Nick Sandmann settled $250 million lawsuit out of court. So I don't know how much he got. Hopefully it was 50, 60, 70, 80 million dollars. Let's say if it was 10 or 20 million dollars. Let's say it was $5 or $6 million. Hopefully it's a lot more. The Washington Post deliberately looked at Pete Solano HA, the Democrat plan to steal the election by mail-in voting. Pretty much. I mean, you look at all of the California rejected 100,000 ballots rejected. California rejected 100,000 ballots because of mistakes. I mean, you can look. Voter fraud exists. Republican restrictions won't stop it. This is Slate. Instead, as election law expert and occasional Slate contributor Rick Hasen has explained, voter fraud occurs through absentee ballots. The vast majority of voter fraud prosecutions touted by conservative groups like the Heritage Foundation involve absentee ballots that were illegally cast, and the only voting fraud schemes with the potential to actually swing elections and swing elections involved mail-in ballots, not impersonations at the polls. This makes sense. It's much easier to forge a signature, impersonate a voter, or buy a vote in the privacy of one's home than it is in a voting booth at the polls. Slate. And the thing is, you want to recount 120 million votes? Let's do it. The Democrats are like, mail in. Yay, we're going to win last second. Like we did in, California in the midterms. We just suddenly got all these seats. It's so fantastic. It's like Trump doesn't. Trump's not Bernie Sanders. You think you're dealing with Bernie Sanders, someone who's going to get pushed around and like stomped on and walked all over? Trump will count every ballot. 100. Do it again. Let's do it again. He'll recount every vote, every ballot. 120 million people, 130 million people voted last. He'll recount every single one, Democrats. So, and no, Nancy Pelosi's not going to become president. Error and fraud at issue as absentee ballot voting rises. This is the New York Times. You could steal some absentee ballots or stuff a ballot box or bribe an election administrator or fiddle with... why all the evidence of stolen... Why all the evidence of stolen elections involves absentee ballots and the like. That explains... And this is Heather Gerken, law professor at Yale. So I'm reading you people who, by the way, are all for absentee ballot now. You could steal some absentee ballots or stuff a ballot box or bribe an election administrator, she said. That explains, she said, why all the evidence of stolen elections involve absentee ballots and the like. I have about 8 articles here, from PBS to Palm Beach Post, why 30% of Florida is ripe for fraud. South Philly judge of elections admits he took bribes to stuff the ballot box for Democratic candidates. Pete Solano, thank you very, very much. So, I mean, we can go on forever. This is all documented. And they want to play these games like, oh yeah, it's just going to come down to the mail-in ballots. Good. We'll go ahead and we'll play that game too. Trump has no problem making sure that, arresting operatives on site. He's already going to have federal officials oversee, hopefully oversee the collection of these ballots. But he said he is. Look, if Democrats want chaos, or if they think that mail-in ballots are going to give them the election, first of all, they're underestimating the number of people who would mail in ballots for President Trump. Okay. Secondly, it's going to be Clinton. So they're going to those mail-in ballots are going to read Clinton, not Biden. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a calamity, God forbid. It's just simply Democrats are going to say, look, the best candidate we have is Hillary Clinton. Biden would get crushed. He wouldn't even get close enough. Christopher! Christopher, I think that Biden himself is, I think it's going to be Clinton at the end of the day. And the Democrats, well, I mean, the funny thing is, Biden, he doesn't even have an actual voting base. There's never been a Biden base. Christopher, thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Emily Cooper! You've said before you think the media will change their tune if Trump gets elected. That didn't happen in the UK after Conservatives landslide December. They're biased as ever. It's true. I could be wrong about that. Thank you, Emily. Thank you so very much. I could be wrong about that. But, I mean, I think that they're going to have to change their tune a little bit. I don't see them continually try. I could be wrong with that. But I just see a little bit of media diversifying a bit because they're just going to run their credibility into the ground. You keep saying that Trump's going to lose. He keeps winning. I imagine, well, the intel community and media, you will see, at least with media, you'll see a tiny bit, at least a tiny bit more objectivity. But Emily, I could be wrong. Maybe you're right. Maybe they'll follow exactly what media did in the UK. Thank you so very much, Emily. Thank you. I could be wrong about that. Jane de Belleville. President Trump should not accept the results of the election if Biden wins. Jane, yeah, it's interesting too that they always what they always do. Thank you, Luke St. Martin, Eric H526. Thank you. What they do is they always come out, Jane, with what they have a message. So they come out with a message that they want people to accept. They come out with a message they want people to accept. They come out with something like Hillary Clinton, she'll be on that ballot. It ain't gonna be Biden, because Biden doesn't even do as well with black or Latino voters. That is according to CNN. That's according to their own polls. And he doesn't. I explained today. He doesn't do well. He doesn't do as well among young people or union voters. He doesn't have as much enthusiasm. Kathy DePoy. Have a great night, H.A. Goodman. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you very much, Kathy, as always. Thank you for watching. Kathy DePoy, thank you. Have a great evening, Kathy. Kathy, be here November 2nd, 3rd, 4th. They think they're so cute and clever. Like, well, we're not going to know. We're not going to know who's going to win. Oh, my God. Like, why are you they telegraph everything. They telegraph everything. And then they make these claims like, okay, why, ladies and gentlemen? Do you really think, ladies and gentlemen, Kathy, everybody here, do you really think that Madam Secretary is telling Biden not to accept the election results and to keep fighting because she really wants Biden to win? At the end of the day, they're going to pick the best candidate they have. Hillary Clinton says a lot about the Democratic Party, the best candidate they have. It's also a political machine that I trust as far as I could throw Jerry Nadler. But you look at Nicholas Sandmann, and they have no shame. They have no shame. All they want to do is perpetuate this myth that anyone who supports President Trump is a horrible person. Oh my God, the MAGA hat, the red MAGA hat is a sign of the most vile impulses humanity, possessed by humanity. It's like, why do you think people wear the MAGA hat or vote for President Trump or vote against the Democratic Party? Because they do not want either the Democratic Party's foreign policy or economic policy, or they don't have the same value system that Democrats have, cheating Bernie Sanders and then blaming Russia. They don't care about Facebook ads. Democrats think Facebook ads are national security issues. You have to be the biggest imbecile and the most pathetic fool on the planet to think that a Facebook ad that nobody has ever seen or explained or described. Which Facebook ads swung voters in Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania? Can any of the left-leaning pundits explain which ones? Of course not. So you have to be the most pathetic imbecile to believe that a Facebook ad swung the election, or a number of Facebook ads, when not one article was written prior to the election regarding this. Where are the articles saying, gosh, voters are leaning towards Trump because of these Facebook ads? Where was Clapper, Brennan, and Comey when these Facebook ads were being purchased? You mean they didn't notify Zuckerberg? That's interesting. So they're the ones who are the authorities on election interference, and it happened under their watch. It happened while they were perpetuating the myth that Trump worked with Russia. Why didn't Brennan do anything about Twitter bots and Facebook ads? Maybe because it was an excuse for them them losing. They spent 4 years, and now the Southern District is investigating Trump and his family. Like, they keep on saying, Trump's using the government. He's using the government to investigate his political rivals. And then they're like, yeah. And they touch themselves in ecstasy when the Southern District of New York serves as an extension of the Democratic Party. Eric Trump, he's being, they're going to interrogate him, the Southern District. And they did the same thing with Mueller before the midterms. They have no problem investigating Trump right before an election, but they impeached him for even thinking of doing that against Biden. So, I mean, you have, ladies and gentlemen, but getting back to Nicholas Sandmann, this is a young man who fought back. He fought back. And I think I applaud this young man. I applaud his family. He obviously has a very strong family. When you get ambushed, you have to go and straight into it and fight back. You cannot allow. That's one thing that I've always done, almost always, unless the person's really not worth it. But anyone who tries to disparage me, I've always answered in a reciprocal manner. But you always what the Washington Post and CNN, MSN, they tried to paint this young man. They didn't care about ruining his life. He wasn't 18. He wasn't an adult. They didn't care about ruining his life. They didn't care about any job prospects that could, they didn't care about canceling him out. They didn't care about anything. They needed a picture, a narrative, that here is the typical Trump supporter who is using, who tried to denigrate another human being. And he was wearing the hat, and he was, oh my God. And then you see the empathetic. These are the empathetic people, don't you understand? These are the people who are so empathetic. They have no clue. It's almost like they don't really speak English. They speak Democratic Party. Empathy means you can feel what another person feels. You can almost experience their sorrow, their happiness, their loss, their achievement. You can empathize with the person because you're actually feeling their emotions. Or you've felt their emotions before, so you can relate. How many of those people, those wonderful people at the Washington Post who hopefully had to pay him tens of millions of dollars, how many of those wonderful journalists at the Washington Post who moralize and preach like all the Hollywood celebrities, how many of these people were ever teenagers? How about all of them? Would they have appreciated if Fox News painted them as, some, left-leaning, radical, whatever. Let's say the shoe were on the other foot. Where was the empathy from all the wonderful journalists at the Washington Post? Because Trump is supposed to not have any empathy. Twody Linguist, I appreciate your sentiment and your I appreciate it. It is mathematically possible. Whatever, but it's possible because a lot of these things are. First of all, I appreciate your support, but it's very, very. I have to say this out of respect, just simple respect, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. It is a message board hoax. There are no intelligence agents helping patriots. Everything is done in rhyme and poetry, and Sessions was the worst attorney general of all time. Actually, Trump has devoted his life to making sure Sessions is no longer in government, but thank you so very much. I do appreciate the support. But I just have to respond in the most polite way possible. Plus, I debated Jordan Sather, and you could see that debate. You could see that debate. I am against message board hoaxes of all kinds, and I believe that is the biggest. And they're utilizing it now to disparage. Exactly, Eric H526, exactly. And they're utilizing people now to disparage, they're utilizing that to disparage Trump supporters and President Trump. But thank you, I appreciate your support and just trying to be as respectful as possible. I think it's very dangerous, and whoever is running this still, didn't they get kicked off their message board? I don't even know. There's the proofs and the thing, the Patriots, when an armadillo comes and the Lord says the Patriots and the tumbleweed in the sun, you'll find out. Stay tuned, next bat channel, channel, Patriots. It's no good. It's just a message board hoax. Anyway, I say this out of love, everybody. It's a message board hoax. But Nicholas Sandman, settles $250 million lawsuit. 60% of Americans do not trust media because media distorts, sensationalizes. You can look at the endless stream of stories that were just blatantly false. False stories. Stories that were just false on CNN, Washington Post, MSNBC, New York Times. And they claimed without evidence because there was never any direct evidence that Trump worked with Russia. The fact checkers should have followed their ethos and not made claims without evidence, but they did that for 4 years. The media look, you had Dan Rather in, what was it, 2004? Dan Rather. He was fired in CBS fired this was in 2005, over a Bush National Guard report. In a scathing 224-page report, the panel appointed by CBS identified a host of missteps that led 60 Minutes Wednesday to air an erroneous report and then staunchly defended for almost 2 weeks despite mounting evidence that it was flawed. Okay, so Dan Rather and others ran a story that wasn't true about Bush. Okay? This happens routinely. Routinely. This happens all the time. All the time. With Trump and everyone around him. All the time. And instead of and what happens is they pump out the story, and then the next day it's a small little blurb, just to let you know it wasn't true. But everyone's heard the nonsense, and then they play on it. Here's an example of what the media does. Hillary Clinton, who will be on that ballot and who will debate President Trump, I will have made the biggest political call of all time. What they do is the following. If Trump says it's a beautiful day today, everyone will say it's not a beautiful day, it's cloudy and rainy, Trump lied, Trump said it was a beautiful day. Oh, the post-truth moment. Now where's the truth? The truth, we want the truth. Trump will eat ice cream, and he'll say, I'm eating Rocky Road ice cream, and the media, Trump lies again. It wasn't Rocky Road ice cream. There was no marshmallows. There were no marshmallows in the ice cream. There were no marshmallows in the ice cream. It was just chocolate ice cream. It was just chocolate ice cream. Chocolate ice cream. Oh, no, it was Rocky Road. He said it was Rocky Road. He said he was Rocky Road. Post-truth moment. Help us, God. He lies so much. He's lying again. And then that's the fact check that they'll do with Trump. They'll sensationalize everything. But when Hillary Clinton, and God bless her, she'll be the nominee because she's a much better candidate than Biden. Hear that, Tom Perez? She does better among black and Latino voters, and she does better among young people, and there's more enthusiasm for her everything. But what happens is Clinton will say, without evidence, completely out of left field, she'll say, well, the Russians have their favorite candidate. We don't really have to, we don't even have to, it's Tulsi Gabbard. We all know that. I might not say the name Tulsi Gabbard, but she's from Hawaii. And, she's pretty much a Russian operative. So Clinton said that she's basically the favorite. Gabbard alleges the Clintons. Okay, so what exactly did Clinton say about Gabbard favorite? So what did Clinton say about Tulsi Gabbard here? A favorite of the Russians. And then you get Vox. A Hillary Clinton-Tulsi Gabbard feud explained. No factcheck.org, no pantsuit on fire, no nothing. Just Clinton suggests that Gabbard is the favorite candidate of the Russians. It's just her opinion. We don't want to be presumptuous and think that she's making a categorical statement. It's just her opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. CNN, Hillary Clinton suggests the Russians are grooming Tulsi Gabbard. She's the favorite of the Russians. Clinton never names Gabbard, but there are only 5 women. This is so. So this is how the media gets away with everything, or this is just how they blatantly lie. It's actually the absurdity is amusing. So Hillary Clinton suggests Russians are grooming Tulsi Gabbard for third-party run. This is CNN, the trusted news in name. Former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton said Thursday the Russians are currently grooming a Democrat running in the presidential primary to run as a third-party candidate and champion their interests. The comment appears to be directed at Hawaii Representative Tulsi Gabbard, who is accused of being cozy with Russia in the past. Was she ever cozy with Russia? No. Okay, so I'm not making any predictions, but I think I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who is currently in the Democratic Party and are grooming her to be a third-party candidate. So, she's the favorite of the Russians. Okay. Do you ever hear Hillary Clinton, without evidence, claims that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian, is a favorite of the Russians? This is not true. There's no way to find out who's the favorite of the Russians. Putin never came out with a favorite candidate list. This is false. Pantsuit on fire, false. Lie. Where's the post-truth? This is a post-truth moment. Fact check. It claims without evidence. Madam Secretary claims without evidence. There was no, here's the real deal, everybody. There was no list of Putin, so she couldn't have found out which a favored candidate was, because the Russians never had a favored candidate list. So where did she make the claim? She lied about it. It was a lie. They never say this. They just run the story. They don't say Hillary Clinton, without evidence, claims Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian, is being groomed by Russia. They say Hillary Clinton suggests. They never in their lives will ever say Trump suggests. Trump said he ate 2 scoops of Rocky Road ice cream. But it was really just regular chocolate ice cream. There were no marshmallows in it. So that's how they get away with everything. They manipulate. The deception is so, it's not like you have to be this clever, you don't have to be this media savvy person, this clever media savvy person to find out what's going on. You don't have to, it's not like you have to be this, really knowledgeable and media savvy, and it's right in front of you. When Clinton says something without evidence, well, she's just suggesting. When Trump says something that's hyperbolic, Trump without evidence claims. And then when Clinton suggests something about Tulsi Gabbard, she's not talking about everyone in Hawaii. But when Trump says something to 4 progressive Congress people, oh my God, he's referring to the disrespect. Is it disrespect to everybody of the same background? Because this is what they do. And the same thing, Clapper, without evidence, claims Trump might have worked with Russia. You can make any statement with the word might. Well, Clinton might have accepted bribes. Well, Clapper might have made up everything regarding Russia. You could just say, but they never never had any direct evidence from day one. Clapper was honest. He never had direct evidence that Trump worked with Russia. And then Chuck Todd, if evidence would exist, do you think? You're such a genius. But if you had the evidence, but if
I didn't have the evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence, okay? We're going to investigate Trump for 4 years, and we don't even need evidence. Why do you keep asking me? I'm obviously making everything up, Chuck Todd. Stop it. I'm on your side. You're making it difficult for me. And I say, you think if we had evidence, you don't think we would show you the evidence? We don't have any evidence. Stop it. We're going to investigate him with or without evidence. Obviously, we don't have evidence.
And then Chuck Todd, if you had evidence, in March of 2017, or February or March of 2017, before Comey was fired, they had no evidence that Trump worked with Russia. They never did. Clapper said there was no evidence. They claimed for 4 years without evidence that Trump could have worked with Russia, and he did work with Russia, and he had improper contacts. And then when they don't have any evidence, they then say that they move the goalposts. Well, he had improper contacts, and he accepted it. What is he supposed to say? Debbie Wasserman Schultz, stay there at the DNC. Don't resign. Please don't. It's what Russia wants. What do you want Trump to say? They did themselves in with their own corruption. What do you want him to help the Democratic Party? So all they do is state things without evidence, but they do so because everyone in media believes a certain way, and it's all there. It's different from the days that Dan Rather, like the media might not have liked the Bush administration, but they were so objective that it was okay. Well, this story's false, so we're going to fire. He's an icon. I don't like his politics, but Dan Rather is a journalistic icon. You could say whatever. Now it's like he's just part of the same people that would have been fired along with him back in the day. But he's one of the top journalists for decades. He was fired for a false story. Now, false stories, they just put a blurb, the journalists stay there, and everything is public relations now. If they don't like you, they're not going to say that somebody claimed something without evidence against you. They're just going to say, well, there was a suggestion. Oh my God, the crickets are like, it's unbelievable. Can you hear this? This is like crickets gone wild here. But anyway, Climb BMX. Thank you, Climb BMX. Thank you. Thank you as always, Climb BMX. Thank you as always. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Climb BMX. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Sorry about the crickets. Okay, so hold on one second. Ay. Oh my God. So Climb BMX, thank you. Ripster, hello. So you have this situation where we'll finally get to the before we get to the first night at GOP delivers nearly 6 times more views than start of Democratic. I'll just read it to you finally here. C-SPAN's live stream of the first night of the Republican National Convention has attracted nearly 440,000 views, marking a substantial increase over the start of the Democratic National Convention, which drew 76,000 views. The numbers for Monday night come ahead of traditional TV ratings from Nielsen, which will be released Tuesday afternoon. So you have 6 times more. And Fox News sets rating record for first night of Republican National Convention. And you have RNC opening night pulls 6 times more views than DNC. New York Post. The opening night of the 2020 Republican National Convention blew last week's Democratic snooze fest out of the water, drawing in 6 times more viewers on C-SPAN's live stream And then you have to ask yourself, okay, then they're like, oh, well, the aggregate viewers were lower. CNN actually cut away. CNN actually cut away from the RNC convention just because they just couldn't stand it anymore and they had to disparage Trump. Pete Solano! Remember the Russians' U.S. nuclear reset when the HRC plastic button fell apart? Exactly. When Putin pushed the button, you have to see it. Exactly. I think, what was it? Sergei Lavrov, I think, is the foreign minister. Exactly. They could exactly, Sam. They couldn't even get a reset button that worked. Pete Solano, exactly. Thank you so very much, Pete Solano. As always, Pete. Climb BMX, thank you very much. Climb BMX. Pete Solano, thank you. Jasher! What will the DNC do when Biden starts falling back in the polls? That's why I'm saying, Jasher, I think it's just a meeting. It doesn't have to be a calamity. I'm not like the, oh my God, I think these crickets were sent by Putin. This is like, I feel like it's like the Star Trek episode where they're like, it's like the sound is too much. Oh my God, these are Putin's crickets. These are Putin's crickets. They're everywhere. Who sent them? Jasher, I think that crickets gone wild. I can I think what's going to take place, Jasher, that's a great point. I don't know what's going to happen, but if they're not rolling with Biden, they can't even get close enough to cheat with Biden. This is the problem. They can't even get close enough to cheat. So they lose by over 70 electoral votes, and they're like, we're not going to concede this time. You lost by 70 electoral college votes. What do you want? And they already see, this is the thing. They're hoping that they could just pull out a victory last second with a whole bunch of votes that just happen to miraculously show up. That's why they're so, notice, isn't it interesting? Why are they so happy that they won't find out the election results on November 3rd? Have you ever, you really have to know the psychology of a cheater. The buzz is, we're not going to know, huh? We're not going to know, huh? But that could mean that Trump gets more votes. Are you worried about that? Nah. Why would we be worried about that? Are you kidding? We know it's just gonna, pull our way. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So it's just unbelievable. It is really unbelievable. And here, we can read it here. Voter fraud exists. Slate.com, errors and fraud at issue at absentee voting rises. New York Times, Florida Republicans, ballot fraud 2012. The systemic fraud is, okay. Here we have why 30% of Florida's voting is ripe for fraud. Palm Beach Post. And almost nothing would stop someone from requesting a vote-by-mail ballot for every voter in the country without their knowledge. Requesting someone else's ballot is a felony, but it's nearly impossible to prove. One candidate learned the hard way after more than 100 requests were made from his opponent's home computer. So you have all of this. You have all of these articles that talk about the fraud, signatures from older people, sloppy writers. You can steal some absentee ballots or stuff ballot boxes or bribe an election administrator, or there's a million things to do. You can do. For Florida, warnings of complexity of mail-in voting. Plymouth Township woman charged for forging daughter's signature on absentee ballot application. So, it's like, Then the who picks up the ballots and sends them to be counted, that's a huge issue. There's actually, in Florida, they call them balloteros. Balloteros. Florida rejects tens of thousands of mail ballots. Miami Herald. If you vote by mail in Florida, it's 10 times more likely that the ballot won't count. So, it's interesting that there's so... It's interesting that they're so interested. They're so interested and giddy about not getting the election results on November 3rd. Why wouldn't you be worried that Trump could just pull it off? Why are you so confident and happy that you won't get the results by November 3rd? Ever wonder why? Gee, I wonder why they're not exactly, G-Man, exactly. I wonder why they're not worried. Gee, I wonder why they're not worried. So, I mean, but like at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, the cricket's gone wild. It's just too much. At the end of the day, it's like, do you feel an election? This is not an election. We are 2 months, a little over 2 months away. Do you feel an election? Do you feel the electricity of an election? No. I mean, Trump supporters are going to show up. I want a president who reverses U.S. foreign policy. Yeah. I want a president who goes up against corrupt intelligence officials. I want a president who signs the First Step Act. I want a president, we had record low unemployment. And then you have Democratic governors who are shutting down states. They're like, look at the unemployment. You shut down the states. It's to save lives. Look at the red states. The unemployment is lowest in red states, and they have the lowest aggregate numbers of lives lost. And states that have even more people than New York and New Jersey have a fraction of the lives lost. That's why they can't look at aggregate numbers. That's why Jonathan Swan never wanted to look at the percentage of people who survived, which we're doing a lot. You know, what did President Trump say? We were ranked number 1 in the world, or he's like, oh, I didn't want to look at that. I want to look at as percentage of population. Yeah, other countries don't have De Blasio. They don't have Murphy in New Jersey. What do you want? They don't have Cuomo in New York. That's our fault that we have Cuomo. The New Yorkers elected him. Okay, he put people in old age homes, elderly facilities, so who were infected. So I mean, the missteps were endless. But you have like the very vapid, Trump lied. Oh look, his pandemic response. It could have been half of the lives are in New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Michigan, Pennsylvania. These are Democratic-run states. And you add 4 or 5 more Democratic-run states, and you're approaching half of all the lives lost. And in those states, you have the highest unemployment. So, that's according to the New York Times. And Clinton wouldn't have done anything differently. The only difference would be the media would be, oh my God, look what she did. Travel restrictions, oh, so smart. Trump implemented travel restrictions immediately, like, oh, a xenophobe monster. And they're like, oh, well, we never called. Then the fact check this out. Biden alludes to it being xenophobic, which he was talking exactly about Trump's travel restrictions. And then the media is like, well, it's in the quote, Biden never said that the travel restrictions themselves were xenophobic. It's like, it's exactly what he's referring to. Now, you can't win. The fact checkers They should be like called petulant checkers. Pete Solano. The crickets are HSE. I have 2 geckos. Nice. The cricket. Nice. Pete Solano. The crickets are HSE. Pete Solano. Pete Solano, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Greatly appreciated, Pete, as always. Thank you very much, Pete Solano. Thank you. Bucolic Buffalo. The epitome of the American dream is Maximo Alvarez. Powerful message, man. Yes. Yes. Very beautiful. God bless him. Very beautiful. Of course, the media will never, they'll never give Trump, they'll never, like, it's like the two sides. They claimed without evidence that he was speaking about the horrible racist monsters that day. Where was the evidence he was referring? There was no evidence. This is what they assumed, and because they assume this because they think Trump inferred it. That's not evidence. That helped win Florida right there, Maximo Alvarez. I think that President Trump, I think that he's going to win. Well, he'll win Florida, but I think the Cuban immigrants are going to vote. Latinos will give President Trump the election throughout the country. Throughout the country. He's doing better among Hispanic and Latino voters this year. And I said he would. And I said that he would do better across the board. He's doing better among African American and black voters. I think that, first of all, if they're pathetic enough to go with Biden, they're not even going to get close to cheat. They're not even going to get close enough to cheat. We had record low black and Latino unemployment. Record low. See, you can't erase history. Democrats want to. So, like Bucolic Buffalo, great point. Democrats really want to erase history. That's what they live for. If they can erase history, they can just begin any narrative they want. Sandiford! How dare you demand solid evidence of a Democrat? Bucolic Buffalo, thank you very much, and it was a beautiful speech. But you can't, this is the funny thing, Democrats are like, from their vantage point, they're like, look, everything's bad. Unemployment with 30 million unemployed. Well, who continued the shutdown of states? If Trump said, okay, well, we should shut it down for a month, who continued throughout, like, four going on 5 months now? March, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months, 6 months. You have the highest unemployment in Democratic-run cities and states. This is Trump's fault? This is Trump's fault? He can't tell governors what to do. We had record low unemployment, and it still wasn't. AOC said people are working 2 jobs. Like, we have record low unemployment. Then, like, it's interesting. Nobody calls out when AOC kicked out Amazon. That's 100,000 jobs that would still be. 40,000 that would still be there at least, because Amazon's not going to lay off 25,000 people. And you still, think about it. You would still have the restaurants or food trucks, or if you can't dine in, you would still have like dry cleaners. Think about 25,000 people at an Amazon headquarters, 25 to 40,000 eventually. And the rebuttal was, no, they don't pay taxes. It's like, but they're generating wealth. You don't generate wealth from taxes. You generate wealth from business and people working. So it's never enough. And it's like the media will never, everything's peaceful. Oh my God, everything's peaceful. You have no, oh my God, peaceful. But by the way, I have a question for my 600 viewers right now. I have a great live stream, ladies and gentlemen, every evening I'm very blessed to have a great live stream every evening. Even the crickets love this live stream. But where were all the pundits on the left protesting? Where are their live streams protesting? I don't see anybody. I don't see any. Where are the $20 million venture capital funded people and their subsidiaries protesting? Where are the left-leaning? Where are the Democratic liberal pundits? I don't see them. Where are the live streams of the protests? Where were the uploads? Here I am. I'm protesting, for justice and systemic issue and against systemic issues. I'm not going to call out people. Okay. If anybody starts anything, I'll finish it. My pleasure. But I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's about 8 or 9 people I can name right now who said vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016 and who obsessed over Trump, or, everybody from the $20 million venture capital funded network and their subsidiaries to why didn't they protest in their cities? Where is the evidence that any of the pundits, and forget about just YouTube pundits, why didn't the Washington Post or New York Times or Slate, where were their reporters protesting and actually being there? I don't know if I don't. The only things you see are when you do see the $1.4 billion in property damage throughout the country. Of course, perhaps the majority were peaceful. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take. Look, you can have thousands upon thousands of peaceful protesters, and just a handful, or 50 or 60 that are not peaceful, and they could cause untold damage. And we've seen this take place. David Dorn, and God bless his memory, his life was taken. Media never obsessed. Okay. You have other people who have lost their lives also. Burnell Trammell, he was murdered. Black Trump supporter. David Dorn defending his friend's business, and his murder was on social media live. God bless his memory. But you don't see CNN talking about these people. So it's look, at the end of the day, you can get giddy and happy and really just look forward to we won't even know the election results. Yay, we're not going to know the election results until the 4th. Yay. Yeah, you got to get close, Democrat. You have to get close. You don't have a prayer in the known universe, or in the ever-expanding universe. You don't have a prayer if it's Botox B, the exhumed body. You don't have a prayer. Now, if it's Clinton, she can get close. She could become president. I'm telling you right now. And everybody's, you lost it. You completely lost it. No, I'm telling you. And then when Clinton becomes nominee, just through a meeting with Tom Perez, you know what? We're going to have, she does a million times better. She's a better candidate. She's far superior. She has the gravitas. And nobody's going to care anyway. And it was a Zoom meeting, nomination, whatever. Come on. I mean, they're really playing it up. I'm almost looking at them. It's like this standoff that I have with what people consider reality, which can't be reality. I'm like looking at I'm looking at the way that they're looking at Biden. I'm like, what? You're not even serious. I know you're not serious. Oh my God, they sweep under the rug everything pertaining to Biden. When he says he wants the cure to be worse than the problem, he's running for Senate, slurring speech. Says Arizona's a city. So under the rug. Never happened. Oh, you ain't comment. And then the diversity of thought, and it's under the rug. What? It's really interesting. It's like this is not happening. And Dominus! Hair's looking good, HA. Yeah. Trump 2020 landslide. So many leaving the left. It feels good to be American again. Yes. And Dominus, thank you. Thank you very, very much. More people are going to leave. More people are going to leave the left. Oh, Tim Pool is voting for President Trump. I love that. Love Tim Pool. I watch Tim Pool every day, along with a bunch of other channels. He's fantastic. Tim Pool is great. And he has a video on why he's voting for President Trump. I love that so much because Tim Pool is a very honest, intelligent, left-leaning person. He is generally a left-leaning person. And he, I think, like me, always voted Democrat. He has a video. I'll share it right now. Where is the video? He's going to vote for President Trump, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, with me, they tried to disparage me, and it didn't work because I don't care what they think. But it's very difficult, very difficult to disparage Tim Pool because he has two channels. One, 1 million subs, amazing. What he's done, first of all, it's like an addiction. Like you have to watch him because he's fantastic. Like every day he's essentially replaced traditional news. Because he talks about things. I mean, I'll say this: he's far more courageous than I am. So I have a small channel. I have to be careful, but he's far more courageous. He talks about things that nobody talks about, and everything. And I would always do this, and people would be like, "Why do you read from sources?" I'm like, "This is how you're supposed to give analysis. You're supposed to give analysis from reading sources." But where is this? Okay, so here, Trump dropped his second-term agenda, and now I plan to vote Trump. This is one day ago, 690,000 views. I will go ahead and here's the link. Share it everywhere. So Tim Pool is running for President Trump. It's fantastic. And Dominus, thank you very, very much. But like when I this was like 2 years ago, or about a year and a half ago, I said, going on 2 years, I said, I'm going to vote for President Trump. People were like, oh my God, he was already weird to begin with. He was already nutty to begin with. H.A. Badman. No wonder. He admits he's a Trumper. He says, yeah, he used to like, you know what? He was a grifter, man, because he never really liked Bernie Sanders. Bernie very likely never liked his own fan base, but here, or maybe he did, but he doesn't fight. He gets bullied and stomped on and cheated. He never says anything about it. That's a whole other story. But I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. The unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. That's below. And then I eventually said, no, I'm voting for President Trump. And people, oh my, he's lost his mind. So it's fine. I don't care. I find it amusing that people would reacted in that way. It's very bizarre. But see, I'm like a small channel. And my voice, although it does resonate, it's not, I'm not like extreme, I'm not, extremely influential. I have my viewership, and they're amazing, and I'm very blessed. Like, God has blessed me big time. to have the viewers that I have, to be able to have 600 people on a live stream at 10:38 p.m. Pacific with a bunch of crickets mating behind me. I'm very, very lucky. And very lucky to have been published a bunch of places and have my 2 channels, H.A. Goodman, this channel, H.A. Goodman's other channel. But Tim Pool has close to 2 million subs. And he's built that. He's built that from the vantage point of somebody who is extremely logical and a lifelong Democrat. And he's an honest individual. He doesn't have an ulterior motive or agenda. When you get $20 million for venture capital funding, it ain't because you're thinking of voting for Jill Stein, okay? It's pretty obvious. When you say vote for Clinton, despite knowing that Bernie Sanders was cheated, and then yell Medicare for all, now you're yelling BMI, and Democrats will never and Democrats will never adopt any of these policies. You have an agenda, okay? He doesn't, and the fact, oh, sorry, not BMI, Universal Basic Income, UBI. That's body mass. So you're yelling Universal Basic Income when you haven't even explained how you're going to pay for Medicare for all, which is Medicare for all, great if it's feasible. Obviously, Democrats we can go on forever. They'll never pass Medicare for all. Bernie Sanders is literally pushing for Biden, who would veto a Medicare for all bill. He's like, that's no problem. Before he vetoed it, before he would possibly veto it, I would wrestle Biden, and I would take the pen from his hand. But I can't just stress enough, the fact Tim Pool is voting for President Trump is a fantastic thing. Because you're going to have people who said vote for Clinton, perpetuated the Trump-Russia myth for 4 years, and then they're going to lose again, and who knows what's going to happen to the left. It'll be very amusing. So anyway, definitely share that segment from Tim Pool, because it's pretty awesome. It is great. And here's a man also, he would have voted Democrat if Democrats had a viable candidate. They don't. At the end of the day, it's going to be Hillary Clinton. That's going to be, I will have made the biggest political call of all time. But Mike Samra, Mike, thank you. Mike Samra, thank you. Mike Noland, exactly, as he should. Because of, exactly. Mike Noland, thank you. Mike Samra, Mike, thank you so very much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very, very, very much. Be here November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The meltdown is going to be amazing. Oh my God, the meltdown. Imagine they're so giddy and happy, Mike and everybody here, they're like, yeah, we're not going to find out the election results until November 4th. And then all the absentee ballots go for Trump. They'll be like, what? The mail-in ballots were supposed to go for us. Obviously, our operatives weren't doing their job. Excuse me. Mike, thank you again. Mike, thank you very much. Pete Solano. The DNC frontrunner is a zombie walking around like a zombie saying... zombie saying brains? Yeah, pretty much. He's Pete and Mike and everyone here. Pete, Mike, everybody here. Morpheus, thanks for the coverage. Morpheus, thank you. Morpheus, thank you. Morpheus, thank you very, very, very much for all your support. Always, thank you. Everyone, doesn't Biden look like Jack Skellington? Tell me he doesn't. Every time I look at him smile, he's like, he has that Jack Skellington grin. He's like, oh, come on, man. Come on, man. He looks like a character from Nightmare Before Christmas. He looks like a character. And then he laughs and like, Pete and Mike, everybody here, have you heard when they're like, oh, the president says that you need a cognitive test just recently. He's like,
Come on, man. Come on.
he has this laugh that, it's like this really twisted, forced, contrived laugh. Who believes this? I'm not going to believe. I'm telling you, November 2nd, November 3rd, Trump's going to win. I'll be like, Clinton's going to be that. We're going to go back in time. It's going to happen. Doesn't he have that bizarre, weird laugh? he just, and something's not right. Something is not right. Why can't I want to go to the Joe Biden store. Just humor me for a second. Humor me. Just humor me. Go to the Joe Biden store right now. There's Joe Biden. Why on a desktop does it not scroll down? That's another story. Joe's vision. Bold ideas. There's no way to scroll down on the desktop, whatever. Okay. I want to go to the store to just buy my gear. Okay? I want to buy my gear. Apparel, t-shirts. Okay? I know you're going to be like, oh, here we go. He's lost his mind. He's lost his mind. Don't say anything. Just go with it. Yeah. Sure, H.A. Badman. Clinton, whatever you say. He's lost it. Lost his mind. I want to go pet accessories. Let me just show you something. Let me show you something. Why can't I find a Biden 2020 shirt? Maybe I'm wrong. Where's the Biden 2020 shirt? There's no Biden 2020 shirt. There's Biden-Harris. Why can't I find a Biden 2020 shirt? What's wrong with the year 2020? Aside from everything. Is there a reason I can't find a Biden 2020 shirt? Bruce Wayne! What's your understanding of blockchain voting? Can you explain it, and will it be implemented in time? I don't know anything about it, and I don't think... it's going to be any issue this election. I hope it's not any issue in any election. But here, USPS looks to blockchain to secure mail-in voting amid Trump. U.S. Postal Service has filed a patent for a reliable voting system. Well, that's good. It's only 2 months before. That's fantastic. Bruce Wayne. I'll read you this. Business Insider article. As Trump tries to sabotage mail-in voting. Sabotage mail-in. Somebody claimed without evidence Trump's trying to sabotage. Look up the word sabotage. He's not sabotaging anything. Sabotugi. The U.S. has an idea to defend it against fraud using blockchain. Why? That's terrible. Trump thrusts the USPS. He thrusts the USPS. Trump injects himself into the USPS again by admitting he's refusing to fund it in an effort to sabotage mail-in voting. But you voted in person during your primaries. What's the problem? Oh, that's right. You don't really care about... You just lie all the time. Oh, okay. The U.S. Patent and Trade Office has made a patent filing from the USPS public last week that would utilize blockchain technology to help verify voters' identities. I think that's horrible. Allow them to cast ballots online. Oh, my God. They worry about Russian hacking. You give a Democrat a computer in 2 seconds. Putin has it. And record results via tamper-proof ledger. Okay. I love the Postal Service. I think every country must have a functioning. It's more important than email. It's just you need a functioning postal, but you don't need like what Democrats are doing. Like they go 2 months before the election. We can't. It's the pandemic. You voted in person during the pandemic. Actually, people were getting drenched in rain in Wisconsin. Why are you worried now? Well, a voting system can use the security of blockchain. Is blockchain secure? I don't. And mail to provide a reliable voting system. I don't know much about it, but I hope that the patent is still pending. I don't think they're going to be able to implement any of this before the election. I hope not. I wouldn't trust anything to do with cybersecurity. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Bruce Wayne, I wouldn't trust anything that has to do with cybersecurity and Democrats. They couldn't even get an app running in Iowa. So, Bruce, I hope I answered as much as I can. I don't know much about it, and I hope that it's not going to be a big issue at all. It would be horrendous if anything digital decided this election. Because they couldn't even decide. They didn't even have an app that worked. Bruce Wayne, thank you. Jimmy Summers! You know, the only thing scary about the D is them acting like it doesn't even matter if they get the votes. Exactly. Jimmy, exactly. And the assumption that it's going to help them. Jimmy, the assumption. Why are they so certain? Jimmy Summers, why are they so certain? I want to know, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy, thank you. Why are they so certain? They're like, we're not going to find out the election results. I want to go to Biden for president, or no, so store joebiden.com, not Biden for president.com, whatever. Then it says Biden Victory Fund. Wear t-shirts. I do not see a Biden 2020. Now, you might say, he's completely lost it. He's lost it. Just go with it. Don't say anything. Is the Clinton eventually will be a nominee in the room with us? There's Joe and Barack grassroots event t-shirt. Them running. They're very happy about simple movements. He was riding his bike. He spoke for 20 minutes. So fantastic. Mark Skug. I let the HRC handle all my security needs. Heck, Bill Barr can't even find it. Mark, that is an interesting one. We got. There's one indictment with Kevin Kleinsmith. President Trump's going to win re-election. We'll get more. Mark Skug. Pretty much, huh? Mark, thank you. Mark Skog, thank you. But Mark, everyone here, thank you very much, Mark, as always, and I hope all is well. Please be here November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the most amusing election of all time. Why can't I find a Biden 2020 shirt on Biden's own? Is this is not proof that, or evidence, let's say, that this is, I'm not basing my viewpoint on this. Can I just ask the question? I'm just asking the question. Does anyone find that bizarre? What if I want for my pet accessories? One dog leash. Okay, that's a dog collar. What about stickers and bumpers? Please tell me. Oh, no. Okay, can I get a 2020? Give me a 2020 even. No, not even a 2020 in the stickers. Wow. I can't get a 2020 in the stickers. I can't get. I got a no malarkey sticker. I got a no malarkey, and I have a vanilla ice cream sticker. Is he known for eating vanilla ice cream? Wow, what a great person. Build back better. I have a build back better. Okay. The mating crickets are at it again. Crickets gone wild. I have a face mask. Biden-Harris face mask. Yard sign. I don't even have a Biden 2020 yard sign. I just have Biden Harris. Okay? And, like, is this bizarre? Like, is this bizarre? How is this Trump Pence 2020? I go to Trump Pence 2020, Trump Pence 2020. Okay. I have men and women, Trump Pence 2020, Trump Pence Keep America Great 2020. Okay. What's wrong with why would Trump 2020? Why is it that I can get an acknowledgement for, usually you have like Bernie 2016. Why doesn't Biden? I know crop circles, I know. But why what's the problem here? What's the problem? Karen Man 100, Biden 2020 adult. Karen Man 100, thank you. So I just have a problem here. If I go to Trump, okay, gifts. I have a mug, Trump Pence 2020. I can't even get a mug. I can't get anything. I have beer coolers, Trump Pence 2020. I'm telling you, I'm going to make the biggest political call of all time. I'm literally the only person in the universe saying this. It's okay. Reality will fall to exactly what I'm saying. I go to Biden accessories. My tote bag. I can't even get a 2020 tote bag. I can't get anything 2020. No mention. No mention of 2020. No mention. You can't even get a 2020 yard sign. Then you have Clinton today. Biden should not accept the results and should not concede. What? Karen Man 100, thank you. Mitchell Smith. Hope all is well. Donna Brazil ran its proof. The left is in pure panic. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Mitchell Smith, thank you very, very much. Mitchell, I hope all is well. Mitchell Smith, let's look up... Yeah, it's at the end of the day, another interesting point, Mitchell and everybody here. President Trump's been around for he's finishing up his fourth year. We had 8 years of Biden and President Obama. The systemic issues were not addressed in those 8 years. Why not? Then they're saying, well, vote for us because we'll address the systemic issues. You had 8 years. You had 8 years with Bill Clinton, and he actually caused the systemic issues. I don't know. I just find it very interesting. I know that, here we go, H.A. Badman. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee eventually from this Zoom nominee. She'll be on the ballot. She'll be on the debate stage because she's the only chance they have. She has the gravitas. Hillary Clinton has the gravitas. She has the experience. She has the voting base, and the far left and progressives will vote for her no matter what. It doesn't matter. They're part of a computer program. I'm not part of a computer program. If I was, the computer would have been broken a long time ago. If you type in, H.A. Goodman, okay. He's a Bernie Sanders program. Oh, what? No, he's now Trump. Oh, the program is broken program. But the left is they live one. The software is written for them. They cannot. They cannot deviate. Krillin 876. At least Clinton had bumper stickers ready for HRC. Exactly. Krillin. Mitchell Smith. Thank you as always. Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you as always. Natalie Square Foot Gardner. Go Buckeyes. Biden earplugs for President. I'm not only a member, I'm a client. Or was it? I'm not only the president, I'm a client. Natalie. He's not only trying to be the president, he's also a client. Natalie Squarefoot Gardner, go Buckeyes! Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. Bucolic Buffalo. You can get Hillary 2020 gear on Amazon and other places. Exactly. I love it. Yeah, let's go on Amazon and buy more Hillary 2020 gear. Let's just, you know what? Let me see if I can go on Amazon. Yes. Let's see here. Clinton 2020. Trump, make liberals cry again. Trump 2020. So, let's see. I already got my Hillary Clinton 2020 shirt. I have a Biden Clinton 2020. Hillary 2020. Okay. So it's there. It's there. You can get Biden 2020 on Amazon, but not on his own site. That's interesting. Why you would think that he would want it on his own site, but then again, he's not even going to be really on the debate stage. It'll be Clinton, so why would he want that? That makes no sense. Why would he even want that? So, Eric H526, thank you. Love the cricket. Patriot Ninja, hello. Crickets for Trump. mating crickets for Trump. I think that, isn't that a mating call? Let's see. Cricket mating calls. Oh, yeah, it's HA after dark. Mating calls of crickets. Courtship in the cricket world. The chirping. Okay, so males make the chirping sound to call female mates. This rubbing is called stridulation. A triumphal song is produced. Oh, triumphal and annoying. What a triumphal song to drive you nuts. A triumphal song is produced for a brief period after mating and may reinforce the mating bond. Anyway. So. Bucolic Buffalo! I am. Bruce Wayne, I am. Thank you. Eric H526. See, they're getting it on. The frogs are getting it on in the morning. I have crickets gone wild right near me. Oh man. So I know that this is, I just find it bizarre. I don't know. Why would you not have any apparel that says 2020? I'm telling you, people, remember now when I'm telling you, because all it takes is Tom Perez to say, I'm not predicting a calamity, God forbid. I want Biden to live forever in a long and happy life. God bless him. I'm talking about, because I'm not like the disgruntled, foolish imbeciles on the left saying wrong Trump and all this stuff. I'm saying all they need is a meeting. It doesn't have to be, God forbid, a calamity. It's just a meeting. Just a meeting. They say, look, you know what? We're going to switch. And then media says, switch is good. And then Democrats will say, and then progressives and everybody, the switch is good, switch is good. You want to be a Trumper? You want to be a Trumper? You Trumper? You Trumper? Huh? You Trumper? You Trumper? Xenophobic Trumper? Racist Trumper? The groupthink and the bullying on the left is profound. It's intense. That's why, I never cared, and they would get even more, riled up and in a greater frenzy when I'm like, I don't care what you think of me. He doesn't care. The best thing, and I remember this journalist trying to disparage me with a hit piece, and the best thing that was ever said about me, it was, he has no shame. What did he say? He doesn't care, something to the effect, he doesn't even care what we think. He has no shame. I was like, yeah, it's true. I don't care what you think. Why should anyone care what you think? But here, this is so bizarre. If I go to pet accessories, no 2020 pet accessories, all accessories, I have Biden-Harris mug, doesn't say 2020. I can't get a 2020 yard sign. I have no malarkey. What's Build Back Better? What is that even? Have you heard about this? Build Back Better hand sanitizer? What is that? What are you putting on your hands? Build Back Better? What does that mean? What is that supposed to refer to? It's the Build Back Better campaign. For what? For Joe Biden. For what? For Joe Biden. But what do you mean for Joe Biden? You know. What is charades? I'm asking you a question. For what? Because he's going to beat. He's running in this year. Okay. I can't get any 2020 stuff on here. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, because he's not even going to be on the debate stage. It's going to be Hillary Clinton. Oh my God. Everyone tell everybody you know. H.A. Goodman is 100% telling you that because of, they'll have a meeting, whatever, they'll say, look, the internal polling, external polling, whatever. Hillary is the best choice. She has the gravitas. The Russians stole it from her. She does better with core demographics of the Democratic Party. We're going to choose the first female president. I'm telling you, H.A. Goodman is telling you, Hillary Clinton could become president. I'm telling you. Pete Solano! The VP picked by JB was grilling the postmaster in Congress on mail-in this week. They ain't voting this week because she's been picked for VP. The VP picked by JB was grilling the postmaster. Pete Solano, thank you. I know I'm reading this wrong, or maybe the crickets have made my brain, fried my brain, but I can't read exactly. Pete Solano, thank you so much for your support always, Pete, and your positive words, and just thank you very, very much. Build Back Better. Ladies and gentlemen, you can buy an $8 Build Back Better hand sanitizer. Or you can buy a Biden flag. It's just a Biden logo flag. Don't ask for what. It's just a Biden logo flag. You mean like for Biden 2020? Shh. No. Be quiet. Don't say 2020. It's for Madam Secretary. Be quiet. Here's a Build Back Better hand sanitizer. Have it. Just get away. Go. Dogs for Biden dog collar, but why would the dogs for what? What is he doing? Don't worry about it. It's a dogs for Biden. You should have a dogs for Romney. That'd be a good one. A dogs for Romney. You get put on the car roof. Dogs for Romney. Oh my God. You know what? I like a nice cup of Java in the morning. You know, let's look at the drinkware. Oh, that's good. No 2020 here. It just says Biden-Harris. For what? We don't know. Biden-Harris water bottle. Secure a clean energy future water bottle made from asbestos. Just joking. The Biden plan will. Biden-Harris, secure a clean energy future. New arrivals. Let's see. No, nothing. No 2020. You have a sticker, I swear to God, of ice cream. It says Biden on it. I swear to God, it's the best thing you've ever seen. An enamel pin. You know, because he's such an icon for eating ice cream. Eric H. Eric H. Cosmic Grandpa. Dogs for Biden. Eric H. HA people upset that Brennan went to for an interview. Only you and your audience knows he went there to get more dating advice.
Clapper stole my girl, Sally Yates.
The interview happened weeks ago, feeling bad for him. Now without phone, he was told in person. Exactly. That's an interesting one, too. It is going to be interesting. Eric H., I think that they're probably going to get them on issues pertaining to perjury. You have a whole lot of people. Eric H., first, thank you very, very much for always watching since day one, and thank you for your generosity. And I hope all is well. And I know you'll be here November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Brennan is, I think, the key to everything. This is the interesting thing, Eric H., and this is what Durham and William Barr are going to talk about. While he was setting up Trump with the dossier, while this was taking place, the Facebook ads were being purchased with rubles, apparently. The Facebook ads were being purchased. So they did nothing to stop the interference. But they then claimed to be authorities on preventing interference. They were utilizing a dossier that said Trump was working with Russia all throughout the election. But all throughout the election, these Facebook ads were apparently interfering in the election, and they did nothing about it. They were focused on Trump when they should have focused on preventing these Facebook ads from swinging the election. So if they knew that Russia was trying to interfere, why didn't they do anything about it? Eric H., thank you. And it starts with Brennan and Clapper. Thank you, Eric H. Thank you. Cheated no more. I'd rather buy a Trump lighter, even though I don't smoke. I actually like the lighters. Cheated no more. At least it'll say 2020 on it. Cheated no more. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I mean, there's no comparison. The stuff you could buy on Trump's website's like so much better, but at least it says 2020. Jimmy from Philly. You still think Clinton is running, and why? Madam Secretary is the only hope they have. Biden has no grassroots support. You can't find a Biden 2020 shirt or anything on his website. They cheated Bernie Sanders in Iowa. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. It's a political machine, but most importantly, Hillary Clinton is the only chance they have. They know this. If I know this, they know this. She's a much better candidate than Biden, which says something about the Democratic Party. They didn't cheat Bernie Sanders to elect Biden. They didn't spend 4 years perpetuating the myth that Trump worked with Russia to steal the election from Clinton to elect Biden. And Clinton does better, much better among black and Latino voters than Biden, much better among young voters than Biden, much better among union voters than Biden, and has a lot more enthusiasm than Biden. So they're going to make the switch if they have any hope of winning. Otherwise, it's game over. They won't even get close enough to cheat with Biden. Yogi Fish! Glad to catch your show, H.A. Trump 2020. Yogi Fish! Thank you so very, very much. One of the great names on this channel. Yogi Fish, thank you very, very much. Be here November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th. My God, the meltdown is going to be... It's going to be Clinton losing again to President Trump. But the meltdown is going to be... just from Hollywood alone, Yogi Fish. From Hollywood alone. Could you imagine Yogi Fish and Eric H? Thank you, Eric, again. Yogi Fish, Eric H, everyone here. Could you imagine the meltdown? The absolute biblical meltdown. Could you imagine the meltdown that they're going to have when they lose again? Because the thing is, the average American's looking and saying, of all backgrounds, of all ethnicities, saying, well, even if you don't like, let's say you don't like Trump. Let's say you don't like his personality, you don't like President Trump, you don't think he's a good president. As it is right now, Biden has no chance. They'll go with Hillary Clinton, but let's just roll with it for a second. Biden has been in politics for 50 years. He's done nothing. What has he done? I want to know, what is this man known for? Eating vanilla ice cream? Who cares? The glasses are really nice, but okay, who cares? He's not the only person who's ever worn aviators, and it's like, you can put aviators on Jack Skellington, a Nightmare Before Christmas, and they look the same. There are no Biden voters. Biden was kicked out in 1988 for plagiarism. He was accused of plagiarism the other day. In 2008, he didn't even get 1% in Iowa. There are no organic Biden voters. It's all I'm with her people. Nobody knows them like I do. Nobody loves them like I do. They're such beautiful human beings. I love the I'm with her people. They're beautiful, kind, sweet, empathetic human beings. Yogi Fish, thank you again. Eric H, thank you. The crickets are slowly driving me nuts. It's fine. It just many things. Also, you have Clinton saying what she would say if she were running, and then you have the facade of Biden running, and she's like, "Just to let you know, Biden, don't accept the results." And then then the media says, Clinton blasts Trump. It's an inferno. She totally demolishes Trump. The inferno. The burn. And then from the sidelines, they don't accept the election results, and this and that, and look at the pandemic and Trump every day. Not once. Biden is going to be a great president. President Biden, he's wonderful. We need him as president. Biden for president 2020, president in 2020, this year 2020, president Biden. I don't hear this. You type in Hillary Clinton, it's beautiful, wonderful interview. She said amazing things. What a wisdom is unparalleled. With Biden, he said, you just watch president. My cognitive abilities are fine. Something's going on. They know that the only chance they have is with Hillary Clinton. It's a political machine anyway. You think she's going to give up power to Biden of all people? She doesn't. She doesn't have the personality traits to say, okay, you know what? You're my colleague. This is one, like, I've had friends of mine who, through no fault of my own, because their minds completely warped by CNN or MSNBC, would call me and say, I'm just disappointed in you. I'm upset with you. I can't talk to you. You're voting for Trump. It's like, wait a second. We are friends. We're equal. We're colleagues. So who are you to judge me based on but if you want to debate, we can debate. I don't want to debate. So I'm supposed to what? View you as somebody who has the authority to judge me? So you take that and you multiply it. It's like exponential. Multiply it times 1,000,000. She's a colleague of Biden. And she was more powerful in terms of Secretary of State than Biden was as vice president. I mean, it's vice president is like you would say typically a position that's greater than the Secretary of State, but in terms of influence, the Secretary of State has a lot more influence than the vice president. And then she was in the Oval Office for 8 years. And she was senator. So, and she worked as a colleague of Biden. So, but she doesn't have the personality traits to be like, let me help you. That's not happening. That's not happening. Yogi Fish, thank you. I agree. They know that they have no chance with Biden, but also on a human level, Madam Secretary doesn't have the characteristics of somebody who wants to help. Like, she has convinced herself that the Russians stole it from her. So she was almost president. She didn't want to run, and go through the slings and the arrows, and she's letting Biden do so. And they came up, numerous Democrats have talked about the fact that about a week or 2 weeks before the 2016 election, Comey tanked them hardcore tanking by Comey, who was covering up numerous crimes, and he's like, oh my God, what do we do? So he found even more crimes, and then a week before, he was kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you win, I got the goods on you. So Comey tanked her campaign. It wasn't anything else but Comey. But here, even 538 said that. But you have this data that they've all talked about that, well, a week before the election, and people decided. About 2 weeks before the election, people decided. So they're waiting until the very last moment. And if they go with Biden throughout, they've already said goodbye to a generation of voters. If they lose again with Clinton, they could just say, look, America is not worthy of us. We still live in a place that's, full of misogyny, because if you don't like Clinton, you don't like all women. Clinton is the embodiment of all women. She represents all women. Tulsi Gabbard to the Democrats apparently doesn't represent all women, but Clinton apparently does. So if you don't vote for Clinton, it's misogyny. If you accuse Tulsi Gabbard of being a Russian operative, you're just suggesting something. The fact checkers take a break, a vacation. It's fine. Trump eats ice cream. He says it's Rocky Road ice cream. There's no marshmallows, and my God, you've never seen more apoplectic reaction. You've never seen it before. Cruise control! Biden's routine, a stream of consciousness followed by confused vowel movement. Nice. Cruise control, thank you for your generosity. Cruise control, thank you very, very much. Confused vowel movement. Or what Bernie's movement is become a bowel movement. But cruise control, thank you. Cruise control, thank you very, very much. Oh my God. Thank you. Cruise control, thank you. But cruise control. We have not started cruise control. And everyone here, I'm telling you, I'm just going to pat myself on the back right now. I'm going to pat myself on the back right now. Cruise control, be here, especially when everybody, 600 people, tell your friends, tell everybody you know. H.A. Goodman is still saying that Hillary Clinton is eventually going to be on that debate stage, be the nominee eventually, just because of polling. They're going to replace the current nominee, Botox B, because the polls show that only Hillary Clinton can give them a victory. Cruise control, thank you very, very, very much. But tell everybody, all 600 people, tell people. H.A. Goodman says Hillary Clinton is the only chance the Democrats have, and that Hillary will be on that debate stage. Just like I stated, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. I wrote about this in 2017, people. So, Cruise control, thank you. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, cruise control, everybody here, I want to type in Joe Biden, and then I get Hillary Clinton says Joe Biden should not concede. She never had a chance not to concede. This is what the Clintons always do. They introduce a sentiment that isn't even based in reality, and then pontificate on that sentiment. Joe Biden promises to end 401ks. Joe Biden promises to end traditional 401k style retirement savings tax benefits. What's that mean? What? We can go on forever. So this is actually a positive article from CNN for Trump. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron pushes back on Biden's black voter comments in RNC speech. And then, so that's what you get for Joe Biden. No, nothing positive. No, nothing. And then for Clinton, Biden should not concede. Biden should not concede. Biden should not, under any circumstances. Under any circumstances, even if you're down 70 electoral college votes, under any circumstances, because you can always do good and the next day the vote count. Don't worry about it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Everything, don't worry about it. Under any circumstances. This is what, and then with Trump, it's like Trump says he's never going to leave. Trump says he's never going to leave. So they say that Trump won't accept the results, and then Clinton urges Biden not to concede. So it's like you can't win. You cannot win. The media is part of this, endless charade. Cruise control, thank you. Cruise control, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Be here tomorrow evening at around 9:30, about 9 p.m. Pacific. We'll have our live stream. People, 610 viewers, and we haven't even started. We haven't even really started the election because Madam Secretary is the only chance Democrats have, and she does infinitely better in terms of polls than Biden. And I will have made the biggest political, literally the biggest political call of all time. I'm going to make an amazing call anyway. President Trump's going to win. And it'll be the second straight election that I've predicted. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you very, very much. Cruise control, everybody here. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin. Thank you. God bless you all. Be here tomorrow evening. Same time. People, we haven't even started the election cycle yet. And it's about to get really amazing and awesome and interesting, especially when you have Hillary Clinton debating President Trump. You have the AFC champ versus the NFC champ. President Trump's going to win again, but you watch, ladies and gentlemen, you watch. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel if you want. Oh, if you want to be part of a newsletter, it's email me at contactgoodman78@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody.